Hey guys, it's Sajid Dan1 again here with yet another new video for you guys, and today I figured I'd go ahead and make a video talking about some of the games I'm really looking forward to coming out this year. There's a lot of games I'm really looking forward to, a lot of wonderful RPGs, and I thought I'd just kind of share with you some of the games I'm really anticipating. So to kind of start off, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the games that have like confirmed release dates, which are official. But the first one I want to go ahead and talk about is a fantastic looking RPG by Square Enix, and that is Bravely Default Flying Fairy for the Nintendo 3DS. This looks to be a really fantastic kind of traditional turn-based RPG, kind of harkening back to the golden age and the golden era of RPGs. It looks very tried and true, very high quality, fantastic art style. It seems to have like a job class system similar to some of the other Final Fantasy games, and a lot of inspiration from Final Fantasy, obviously, but it just looks really fantastic. I know there's a demo out for it, which I still haven't played because it's just kind of me. I like to avoid kind of everything about a game I'm looking forward to, but I'm really anticipating it. It's honestly probably one of my most anticipated Nintendo 3DS games. I'll be really enjoying that. I got the collector's edition pre-ordered, so you can expect an unboxing in that. I'm really anticipating that. That comes out in February. And the next game I'm looking forward to is a game that's going to be coming out by NIS America and is coming out in February as well. But I'm not the biggest visual novel fan, but I love some visual novel games that are just very odd and obscure and very interesting. And this is definitely one of them, and that is Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, and this is going to be for the PS Vita. And it's a visual novel game, so it's very text heavy and it has some emphasis on kind of exploration, and there seems to be kind of some themes of murders and stuff like that. So it's a very mature game. It's very kind of dark and mysterious, and you're kind of just solving these mysteries. And it's got a unique art style actually, so I really like the art style. It's just very different. Like it's just really obscure, and I love obscure visual novel games. So I'm really looking forward to that. Once again, I also have the limited edition pre-ordered from NIS Americas, so I'll be getting that. I'm really looking forward to that. So and that comes out in February. And the next game, once again, is also coming out in February, so there's a kind of theme going on here that February is pretty jam-packed for me, but this one I have to get because I'm a huge fan of this series. It's one of my all-time favorite RPG series, and this is a wonderful collection of two RPGs from the series, but that is Tales of Symphonia Chronicles. And this is a kind of HD remastering of the original Tales of Symphonia and Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World, which came out on the Wii. So the first one came out on the GameCube, the second one I guess came out on the Wii, and it's a collection of those two games put into one. So and obviously upscaled for the PS3. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a while since I played Tales of Symphonia, and I never got a chance to play Dawn of the New World, so I never played that. So I'm really looking forward to kind of just delving back into some more Tales of action. There's going to be a lot of it to play. And I'm a big fan of Symphonia's music soundtrack. I love the music from Tales of Symphonia, but once again, I also have the collector's edition pre-ordered for this, so it's kind of expensive, but it's totally going to be worth it because I'm a huge Tales of fan, so can look forward to that. And that's coming out late February, so I'm really anticipating that. And the next game I'm looking forward to is a kind of weird game, but I'm a big fan of the original one of this, and I just enjoyed it because it was such a kind of campy B-movie kind of action game. It was just so kind of not necessarily bad, but it was so weird and kind of bad that it was so good. But that is Earth Defense Force 2025, and this is what I consider a true sequel to Earth Defense Force 2017. Insect Armageddon came out, and that was kind of made by a different company, and in my opinion, it looked like it lost kind of a lot of the charm which made 2017 so good. And the great thing about 2025 is it's being made by the exact same developer who made Earth Defense Force 2017, so it's going back to its roots, back to kind of similar style, and just kind of back to that charm that Earth Defense Force 2017 had. They've added so much more stuff and so much more content to 2025, new weapons and stuff like that. Just all over crazy alien bug killing action is so much fun. And if you've never played Earth Defense Force, definitely check them out. They're very kind of strange, campy B movie style action games where you kill a bunch of alien bugs and all that. So they're so much fun. I really enjoy them, and I'm glad that this kind of finally a true sequel to Earth Defense Force 2017. So Earth Defense Force 2025 will be coming out in February as well, and that'll be coming out on the 360 and PS3. And the next game I'm looking forward to is once again another game that's being brought to us by NIS America, and it looks to be a very fun kind of action style RPG. But that is The Witch and the Hundred Knights, and this is a kind of interesting looking kind of action style RPG that's super colorful. It almost kind of feels a little bit more Western inspired based off the gameplay I've seen. It reminds me honestly of games like Diablo and kind of Dungeon Siege. These kind of like top-down dungeon crawling action games. So it kind of is more similar in that kind of vein, so which I'm actually looking forward to. It's been a while since I played a game like that, so I'm really anticipating that. That'll be coming out in March, and once again, I have the limited edition pre-order for this, so I'm really anticipating that. And the next game I'm really looking forward to is a game that's going to be brought to us by Atlus, and it's coming out in April, and it's going to come out on the PS Vita and 3DS. But it's a very weird game, very weird title, but that is Conception 2 Children of the Seven Stars. And this is basically a kind of like traditional RPG, almost very inspired by games like Shin Megami Tensei and Persona and stuff like that. And the big mechanic and weird kind of twist to these kind of games, the Conception games, is that you mate, I guess, you mate with your kind of schoolmates to create like these magical children which you use to battle. It's a weird game. It recently got an M for mature rating, which doesn't surprise me, but it's just so obscure. Like, what a weird concept, but I'm all about weird RPGs, so I really love that. So I'll be looking forward to that, and that is Conception 2 Children of the Seven Stars. And the next games I would like to go ahead and mention are games that either don't have a confirmed release date or haven't been confirmed at all to be coming to the West, or they just need an official release date still. But some of these may wind up not even coming out this year, but these are just some of the games I hope would come out this year that I totally would be looking forward to. And the next game I'd like to talk about is a game that's probably going to wind up coming out, published by NIS America. I don't think they've announced an official release date for it yet, though. But it's a game that looks very interesting, like a very quality kind of dungeon crawling RPG, and that is Demon Gaze. Demon Gaze is like a first-person dungeon crawler, almost very reminiscent of stuff like Wizardry, or even more recently stuff like Etrian Odyssey, where you have like a party that you build and you go into dungeons, and you go through these dungeons in kind of first-person perspective and wind up fighting enemies and grinding and stuff like that, and mapping out. Like, there's a huge emphasis on mapping out the labyrinths and stuff like that. The interesting thing about Demon Gaze, though, is it's made by a company called Kadokawa Games, and that name might sound familiar to people who played a lot of the Suda51 games, because Kadokawa actually helps with a lot of the Suda51 games as well. So it's got a very unique kind of style going for it, and it's just really unique character design. And it looks really high quality, actually. I mean, it looks like traditional kind of first-person dungeon crawling, which is not a bad thing to me, because I love first-person dungeon crawlers. I'm a sucker for them. So this looks really good. I hope it comes out this year, which I'm hoping it should. And that is Demon Gaze for the PS Vita. And the next game I'd like to talk about is a game that is personally probably one of my favorite Nintendo franchises and one of my favorite Nintendo characters. But this is for the 3DS, and that is Kirby Triple Deluxe. And this is another kind of Kirby game, very similar to kind of the Kirby games that were on the original DS in that kind of vein. It's kind of got some unique mechanics there, but very traditional. If you never played any of the Kirby DS games, they're just really fun, enjoyable kind of like platformers that are somewhat easy, but just very lighthearted and very charming and just fantastic music. So I love Kirby, and this looks like another quality installment, and it's honestly the first Kirby game for the 3DS, so I'm really looking forward to that. And kind of following a similar note, I think this game might actually come out this year in the West at least. And this is a game for the 3DS, and that is Shin Megami Tensei Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth. And this has me super excited ever since like I saw the trailer, and then ever since I actually saw the gameplay, I kind of was sold immediately on the gameplay alone. But it is basically, now that I've seen everything about it, it's basically Etrian Odyssey mixed with Shin Megami Tensei, Persona 3, and Persona 4 characters and settings and themes. The gameplay is pretty much identical to Etrian Odyssey. It looks like they're using a similar engine and everything. So I'm a huge fan of Etrian Odyssey, like I mentioned before, with like Demon Gaze and stuff like that. I'm just a big fan of first-person dungeon crawler RPGs. They're really old school. They challenge you in a lot of unique ways, and it feels kind of refreshing to kind of play an RPG in a kind of similar vein of how like the older RPGs started. But it looks super high quality, and I think it's going to be really fantastic. If you're a fan of like first-person dungeon crawlers and the Shin Megami Tensei games. This is going to be a lot to love here, and I'm really looking forward to that. Hasn't been confirmed when it's going to come out, but I kind of have a feeling it will come out this year, but later this year. So that is Persona Q for the 3DS. And next is, believe it or not, another Tales of game, and that is, of course, Tales of Xillia 2. And I'm a big fan of Tales of. I really enjoyed Tales of Xillia, and I already knew about Tales of Xillia 2. I've watched a lot of people play it before, and I've seen a good chunk of the game already. Not too much to where I spoil it, but I've seen like the kind of beginning segments of Tales of Xillia 2, and it looks even more like improved than Tales of Xillia. It looks really high quality. I heard it's probably about double the length of the original Tales of Xillia, so it's even longer. So I heard it's actually probably one of the longest Tales of games, but I'm really looking forward to it. It's kind of got a new cast of characters, but it's also got the similar cast of characters, familiar characters from Tales of Xillia who kind of come back to the sequel. A lot of the gameplay is pretty much the same, but it has a kind of different story and follows two unique additional characters in there. So I'm really looking forward to it. This should probably be coming out kind of later this year. And I know they recently announced a new Tales of game. I think it's called Tales of Zestiria. But that is definitely not coming out this year. That's most likely coming out summer, like next year sometime. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm just so happy and so pleased with the love for the Tales of series recently. So another Tales of game, and I'll be really anticipating. Hopefully they do a collector's edition as well, and I can definitely get that. But Tales of Xillia 2. And the next game I want to mention is a kind of unique, weird kind of game for the PS Vita. It's kind of the first of its genre that we've ever received to the West when it comes out. And it was kind of confirmed by NIS America, but they just kind of still don't have an official release date for it. I'm assuming it once again kind of later this year. But that is Hyperdimension Neptunia Producing Perfection, or PP. And Hyperdimension Neptunia PP follows the kind of established characters and the kind of established settings of the Neptunia games, which are kind of known for being these kind of RPGs, which are based around like anime cliches, just cliches in general, gaming history and stuff like that. They're basically kind of fan service games, which they drop a lot of kind of references and stuff like that. But this game in particular is actually an idol management game, and we've never really gotten any idol management games to the West. One of the big series in Japan being the Idolmaster games, and the Idolmaster games are these games where you kind of recruit these singers and progress them through these kind of rankings in Japan and to be the best idol group, and you know increase their stats. Like, it was super in depth, but they've always intrigued me, and they've always kind of piqued my interest. And I was like, man, hopefully we can get something like that to the States one day. And this is kind of it, but with the hyper. So picture like Idolmaster, you're managing them as like idols and up and coming idols, but it's still got all the themes of like Hyperdimension Neptunia and all that. So I'm really looking forward to it. It looks super cute and adorable, and it's probably going to be a lot of fun. So that's Hyperdimension Neptunia PP for the PS Vita. And that will do for this video. I just wanted to share some of the games I'm really looking forward to and just talk about them very briefly. But there's a lot of games I'm looking forward to coming out this year, and some games that I don't know if they're going to come out this year or when they're going to come out, but regardless, I have a lot to love coming out this year, and I'm really looking forward to another wonderful year in gaming. So as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Bye, guys.